intelligent mobile application to automate bird classification using artificial intelligence and deep learning. And so basically my abstract is there are a lot of ways to identify birds using like field guides and other apps, but those apps are really highly inefficient and highly inaccurate. So I want to make an app that can accurately identify birds with only a picture uploaded. So for example here, one app that I used before was the Audubon birding app. And for this app, you have to use, you have to input information like size, color, bird types, and all these to actually give you an accurate result. And that's really slow, and many inexperienced birders will not be able to identify all of these traits, so they won't identify the bird correctly. So instead, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have only require the user to input one picture, and then my AI engine will identify the bird. So introduction, my app is developed using Flutter, and that is a basic software development toolkit, and that is developed by Google. Firebase will be used for the backend portion, which will store data. And for example, my pictures for my app and everything else. And TensorFlow is used as a library that will contain materials that I will need to build my AI engine. And my basic criteria for my app is I'll have to, the app should work without using internet connection. And the AI engine should be on average at least 70% accurate. Yeah. And then also, because there are a lot of birds in the world, the database must be able to expand and to adjust for like new species identified by the birders. So here's my prototype, which basically is, I'll show a demo later, but this is just like a paper, a diagram. So there are gonna be about 5 pages, 5 pages in my app. There's gonna be a login page, a main page, and then an AI identification page, a sign out page, and a like forget password / create account page. So, and the materials I use is basically, as stated before, the computer, access to Firebase, access to Android Studio, access to TensorFlow, and a lot of pictures for testing and training my engine. And for how I tested my project, I mainly tested the % of accuracy, since there's like not much else that I can test about my project. And so how I tested my engine is I picked random pictures from the internet about, I chose 5 random bird species and chose 5 random pictures from the internet, and I uploaded it into my birding app. And so I changed the amount of, let me highlight here. So I changed the amount of epochs for each model. And this epoch, it means that like how many times the code will rerun and retrain itself using all my own data sets. So like that means all of my pictures for that one bird, in this case, the code will rerun itself 13 times. So I just basically experimented with all the different numbers for the epoch. And here's my data set. So I kind of record down all the percentage for each test. Yeah, and then the result, at first I had like a really low accuracy using the epoch equals 13 one. And after I kind of experiment with different numbers, I found out that epoch equals 11 is the highest with an average score of 78 to 79. So that is above the 70% that I wanted. And here's the result continued. So in discussion, it's basically that my app has it works, and then it can also be improved later by just basically selecting better pictures and more pictures. Yeah. And then I think I'll show a demo of my app right now. So here's the like the Android emulator that I have, and here's the background code for it. So to use the app, first you can sign in. So I'll sign out for here. So email, just put in email. And after you press login, you should see a page where here's like all the birds that other birders have put in already. So this is kind of connected to the web, so you can see what everyone else have found like throughout the world. And if you want to identify a bird, you can either use the camera button here, which because this is an emulator, it doesn't really work because there's no camera. So I'm just gonna be using the upload picture, say. So for example, if I have, let me go to my, so if I have some bird pictures here, I can drag one of them into the app here. In this case, I will use the puffin picture here. So I click on it and then I click select, and then it will tell you like the closest 3 options. And if it's very close or there's like not many other options, it will only show you the one. In this case, this bird is the puffin. So you can click on that and then press upload. And after it's uploaded, you can scroll down list, and then you will see that the puffin is added to like the list. And if you click on it, you can see all the pictures of puffins uploaded, but in this case, there's only one. And then one way that my app can be improved is by adding new pictures. For example, here, this bird is the red-tailed hawk, but if I click on it, it will show that it's highly like 98% is black vulture. And this is because I don't really have a lot of pictures for like red-tailed hawk, seeing like from bottom to top. So but I do have a lot of pictures of black vulture in the same angle. So if I add like a bunch of more pictures for red-tailed hawk, then the percentage would be higher. So yeah, that is it. Let me go to my slide. And so overall, the app does work, and it can be improved later on. And yeah, for the future, I plan on to first of all improve the pictures so that the app is more accurate, and then I will also work on adding like identification by sound, so like a video file, like also with a picture. So yeah, that is it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Charlie. Now we will move on to the questions and answers section. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to type in the chat.
Also, for how many birds can the app recognize? I think right now there's about 300 plus birds, because mainly I used a dataset from like GitHub, so I just basically have all the names ready. Yeah, so right now it's around 300, and later on I will kind of edit the list. I'll kind of cut out the ones that are not around here in America and add more American birds in there. And another question, why do you like birds so much? Is that I just like really enjoy watching them, bird watching, and also like years before I did the Science Olympiad, and my favorite event was ornithology, so I kind of just got into ornithology and I really liked bird watching. For how long it takes to train a model, it depends on the epochs. So I tried, the highest one I tried was 19, so 19 times, and then the lowest I tried is around 7. And the 7 one took about 1 hour, and the 19 one took about 2.5 hours. So it normally takes a long time.
Charles, I have a question. What was your proudest thing about this entire project?
I guess like the proudest thing about this entire project is that I actually have an app that I can improve on, and like it's working, because normally like making a science fair project, last year I did like research project, and once the like OSEF passed, I kind of just didn't have anything to work on because my project was basically ended. But for this one, I have an app that I can just constantly improve on, and like for example, adding new birds or adding new features to my app. So that's kind of really different from, that's like one thing that's really different from last year, and I'm really proud of that.
Thank you. Does anyone have any more questions?
How should I get started in learning TensorFlow? I think there are just like tutorials online. I mainly followed one of them, and I just mainly followed one of the AI using TensorFlow. I can probably send you the link in chat later.
Does anyone have any more questions? Okay, thank you so much, Charles. I will be closing this meeting now. Thank you. Thanks everyone for attending. Have a nice day.